All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing you your Friday horoscope for the 30th of April 2021. We've got the moon in the sign of Sagittarius around 9-10 o'clock in the morning. Moon over here in Sagittarius creating a sextile to Jupiter, both at 28 degrees. Jupiter 28 degrees Aquarius, the moon 28 degrees of Sagittarius. So this sextile is about an easy flow of energy between fire and air, the community, and the fire about knowledge. Now, to piggyback on what we were talking about yesterday, I got to be honest, the religious stuff was not the point. The point was about belief. Doesn't matter, the religious is what I use as an example to talk about the belief structures, and I want to take it a little bit different step today. I'll show you the chart and we'll talk about it. Is this sextile here. This is powerful because Sagittarius strongly deals with beliefs. And when we're releasing and letting go of a belief system to seek information and to seek truth, this is very important. This is going to be something that's coming up, and it's something that will be very relevant over the next few years, especially in 2025 when Neptune enters the sign of Aries. We'll talk about that more a little bit in the future, but this is a preparation with the South Node here in Sagittarius because we're letting go of some of the beliefs that no longer serve us. Now, getting to the point of this and looking at this sextile here and a different spin, not using religion as the example, because again, it doesn't really matter. It was just an analogy. Let's look at this. Mercury retrograde. Oh no, Mercury's going to retrograde. Fear, I'm going to hide and run underneath my covers, and I'm not going to come out for 3 weeks, and I'm not going to do anything. Or it doesn't matter about your vaccination beliefs. If you believe in vaccinate everyone, or if you're like, get that needle away from me, it doesn't matter. The point is, when we hear people talking about the vaccine and like, oh, you're going to get sick. You're going to get sick especially after the second one is worse. This is somebody else's experience. This is somebody else's belief. And then they spread it. It's like the telephone game. And then it hits our ears. And then we have an internal sense of fear. Am I going to get sick from the vaccine? Am I going to get sick from the second round? From everything I've heard from people, it's terrible. And you're going to get ill just like the flu shot. And it's like, maybe. I know both sides of the story. I know people that have been like, it was nothing. My arm was sore for a couple hours and I was fine. Watched TV and ate some chips and guacamole, whatever. And I know other people that got ill. That's to each their own experience. So part of this is Jupiter in the community, the belief of the community, and the emotional impact it has on our personal beliefs. Because somebody else or this group of individuals believe this. Does that mean we have to believe this? Does that mean I have to fear because Mercury goes around the sun in 88 days and it retrogrades 3 times a year? That do I have to fear about not doing or saying or communicating or not traveling? Or it's just like there's bumps in the road no matter what. We understand that this planet is closer to Earth and that the antenna is closer, which can kind of scramble the signal. But does that mean to sit idle and to be in fear? And that's some of the things, this is why I love reading the astrological charts, is because things are going to happen no matter what. And we don't have to fear them. What's going to happen when Saturn squares Uranus again 2 more times this year? Is it something that we need to fret? Is it something that we need to have an emotional anticipation of fear, uncertainty, doubt, leeriness, confusion? It's like, well, whatever's going to happen, happens. It's raining right now in Detroit. There might be a rainbow later. I don't know yet, So the point of this, the point of the moon wrapping up from where we were yesterday on Thursday, or depending what time you're watching this video, Thursday, is allowing us to alleviate some of the beliefs that other people have installed in us. And to seek the North Node in Gemini, seek truth. What does it mean? what does it mean? If I believe in this and if I devote myself to this belief system, and it's further saying, well, what does that all entail? Seeking truth. Maybe, it's just like you can feel a certain way, but you don't have to identify with the grand scope and label ourselves. Oh, I believe this in politics, so I'm a this. I believe this in politics, so I'm a this. I believe this in religion, so I'm a this. It's like we can believe in whatever we want to believe in, but we still don't have to fit ourselves into this box or this thing or this identity or this group. And then the other side of that is, well, we all feel collectively, we feel the same about this knowledge. We have an emotional pull towards spirituality. We have this emotional pull toward this way of thinking. We have an emotional pull toward this a way of educating the youth. I'd rather people know how to identify plants in nature and food that's good for them and herbs than identify the Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat logos. You know what I mean? That's something that that I believe in, that we need to educate children more. So it's just like, okay, well, I have this strong emotional belief system, and collectively this whole group does, so then we can add and create something to it. Okay, so it goes, there's both sides of this coin, as there always is in astrology. So this little sextile can be one, like that, getting the group of people together that do believe in this certain thing. And on the reverse side of it, it's saying just because, you can believe in what you believe and I can still be friends with you, and even if our beliefs vary a little differently. And even if I'm over here seeking these questions on the path, and you're over here content with wherever you're at in your journey or your path, and you don't want to seek and ask more questions, I can still accept you and still love you, but I personally need to dig deeper. Okay, so that's the first chunk of our day. Moon sextile to Jupiter, and wrapping up as we still have this south node here, alleviating and letting go. Okay, then the moon is going to move into the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn moon, this is its opposite, its fall, its descent. The moon's home in Cancer here, which is emotional, water, and empath. And let's talk about our feelings. We don't always want to talk about our feelings, but sometimes we express our feelings in different ways. And this opposition is really, really interesting. Okay, because the moon loves to be home in Cancer and Mars loves to be in Capricorn. Mars doesn't love to be in Cancer. Mars loves to be in Capricorn. It's like Saturn's little buddy that says, yes, I need structure, I need discipline, I need a road, and I can run on that road. Mars here is swimming against its currents. It's not at its strongest point. We can look at Mars as it's not saying it doesn't like water signs, because Mars certainly is associated with Scorpio, but it's about the passion of Scorpio. The deep-rooted passions and drive, sexual drive and whatnot. So this is all about emotions. And this little opposition, we want to maybe go forward in this direction and express our emotions and act upon our emotions here. And our emotional moon, this is a serious standoff, and it's saying, keep it together. There's something bigger I need to focus my energy on right now. I can't follow just my emotional drive. Maybe I need to be patient about something. Maybe I need to be patient with someone else. Everybody has needs. Every body has needs. Every ego has needs. And sometimes we act out of neediness. And because the moon is in the sign of Capricorn, which deals with our public image and how people view us, when we are in that emotional space of need or wanting or craving, And if somebody else has that which we desire, that which we crave, this can be looked at as being used. And that impacts how they view us. You only come around when you need. You only ask me something when you need. And there's a very fine line between feeling useful and feeling used, feeling valued, feeling appreciated, and this is a fine line. There's a balance here today and how we deal with that. And again, this is dealing with our reputation is on the line in a certain sense. And it's like, are you someone that's able to get through this without having an emotional impulse, without an emotional reaction every time that X, Y, or Z comes up? That every time this happens, well, this is just how I am, and you just need to accept this part of this is how I am. Something like that. And it's just like, the Capricorn goat has to get to the top of that mountain. Emotionally, it must be patient. It must understand its footing and not rush something because it's just hungry and it needs to eat. Because if it's acting on that emotion, it's easier to be off balance and fall. And with the rest of our planets, our personal planets here, the Sun, which is conjunct Uranus, we're going to talk about that last year, and Venus and Mercury, all in the sign of Taurus. This is about stability. This is about stability. And making sure that our chalice, our cup, can handle this water emotional energy. Mercury and Venus both creating the sextile to Neptune. The steps that we take, the mindfulness that we have, the spells that we create, the spelling that we're creating in our minds must align with our dreams, our wants and desires, our personal possessions, our material objects that we love, the people that we love, our bodies, ourselves, our eyes, our noses and toeses, and all of these things, loving and appreciating ourselves. And that energy is going to stick with us through the next couple of days here. So it's just like by appreciating ourselves, we're not willing to rush into an emotional situation that might have an impact on us further down the road. Okay. And lastly, the Sun conjunct Uranus. So it's going to happen between 3 and 4 p.m., but we're going to be feeling this one all day. There's no question about it. Sun conjunct Uranus, this happens once a year. In the stable sign of Taurus, Uranus is a challenging planet to be there because it's about breaking free. It's surrendering where we don't want to surrender. It's about epiphanies and breakthroughs where we don't necessarily want them. We want things to stay even keeled. And Uranus's job is not to keep things even keeled. It's to alleviate the pressure. And this also coincides with the energy from Thursday into Friday about releasing knowledge or releasing information. And if we're challenged, this is all about finding comfort in uncomfortability. Like meditation's not easy. Sitting in that posture is not easy. Just being with our breath, not allowing our mind to race, not fidgeting constantly or just wiggling. Or checking our phone or saying, I'm thirsty, I'm going to take a sip. Okay, I sat down for 5-10 minutes, but the entire time I was restless. It's not easy. And it's uncomfortable at times. Oh, maybe I'll just do a lie-down meditation. Well, that's resting. Lie-down meditations are fine. They work too. But, it's like sitting with ourselves, sitting with this body, sitting with our breath, sitting with stillness in the mind. This is a very powerful day to try that if it's not a part of your daily practice. Because we're finding, and again, I'm just using meditation as an example right now. This is not just about meditation. This can be in any color, any array of possibility in life. It's about finding comfort in discomfort. Uranus conjunct the sun. Sun conjunct Uranus. This is about breakthroughs and epiphanies. And when we find that sense of balance, that sense of comfort within uncomfortable situations, we learn a new comfort. When we're challenged with ideas that go against our own, a different way of learning or a different philosophy that goes against what we've been taught. We with the North Node in Gemini, we have to be open to every possibility. We have to. And not just saying my way is the right way because that's what I believe. Taking it in consideration. Other possibilities. And then finding and seeking the truth. And what does that mean? So there's a great sense of deep diving and philosophical, existential query in the air. There's wonder in the air right now. There's self-discovery in the air right now. There's a break and change of tradition that's going on right now. There's a sense of patience. And if we do encounter someone that pushes our buttons as far as challenging our knowledge, our information, our personal peace, our philosophies, our religious beliefs, whatever it may be, it's important as the moon is opposing Mars here to not have a deep emotional reaction to it. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. It doesn't mean you're not going to be triggered, but understanding that trigger is within self. And another thing with this moon opposing Mars here is about blame. We blame somebody else for triggering us. Somebody else pushed our buttons. Well, it's our button. It's us. And when we're blaming, this is the pointing the finger at somebody else. We got three fingers pointing back at us and saying, take responsibility. This emotional moon in Capricorn, take responsibility for ourselves. Take responsibility. If we're calling ourselves this or we're choosing to believe this, it's like this is our responsibility to seek that information to learn more. And not blaming an outside source, not blaming somebody else for something, but just doing whatever is necessary in our lives to be the peaceful, joyful human beings and celebrating every single day and expanding and growing and learning along the way. It's always when I think they're going to be quick ones that they end up being these long drawn out daily astrology horoscopes. So my friends, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for this fun way of learning about the planets and the stories that they're telling us. It's deeper than just this squares this and this is, this is fun to sit here and do this and talk with you. Thank you. Thank you for joining and listening along and participating in this ever expansive unfolding journey. I hope you the start of a wonderful weekend. Happy Friday as always. Thank you. I love you. We'll see you tomorrow.